What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today I'm here with Lord Apology Man. And we're gonna talk about some Guilty Gear. We're gonna talk some more about Nagoriyuki. Overrated, underrated, broken. That word you guys like to use. We're gonna break him down a little bit and talk about how we feel about him as a character.
Hey guys, EE here. I'm really excited to bring on this new product from one of our great sponsors on Beast Coast, Sumo Forte. And with me in the chat, I actually have a couple homies who've actually tried this product out already, the Suma tape, which is really good for their gaming needs.
And they have this transdermal mentholated CBD tape.
I've actually been really looking forward to trying this out. Dude, it does feel good though. I'm not gonna lie.
He's broken. That's
Video over. Video over.
Let's be honest, okay. Let's be honest. Character's crazy. So yeah, Nagoriyuki, I think is pretty strong. Broken maybe is a bit of an extreme word, but he's definitely really up there. It's pretty interesting seeing people talk about this character because his strengths and weaknesses are very apparent, right? Like he does lots of damage to you. He has like very strong normals, but he is kind of connected to this resource at the bottom of the blood gauge, and his movement is incredibly poor, right? So when people talk about him, they're always like, yeah, he is really good at doing like all this damage. His normals are really strong, but it's fair because, he has this like blood gauge thing he has to work around and he can't move. So, it's like this perfectly balanced character, I've heard that a lot, and even at the beginning of this game, anytime a Nagoriyuki player did anything, like, oh, look at this hardworking Nagoriyuki player. But Nago just won Evo, and there's like 9 of them in all the other Evos, so I don't know. How hard is he working?
So here's a question for you then. Are you saying that characters that win Evo don't work hard?
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm kidding. All right. I didn't say anything. I did not say anything. I do not share that opinion, by the way. I do not share that opinion.
But I will say though, when it comes to character usage, when the character usage, like in a large tournament, like is high, that is a trend towards ease of use, like, and strength. Generally, like in the past, it's like if there's a reoccurring top tier character, that is kind of the theme with the it's never just like, oh yes, everyone just loves playing this like really hard mid tier and like he shows up everywhere. It's always a strong, easy character. That's kind of like the reoccurring characters that usually show up the most. And Nago showing up, I think, is not a surprise, honestly, because he's really strong and I think he's like pretty straightforward. Once you kind of understand how his blood gauge works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty interesting. You said some stuff I wasn't expecting you to say. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, so I'm really in the middle. I think at this point people don't underrate him anymore, right?
Yeah.
I think people can definitely overrate him sometimes. If someone said he was a top 5 character though, I probably wouldn't say anything really. I think he's kind of sitting in that like 5 through 7 group with like Milia and stuff. But the main difference being that he is an easier character to play and he does do a lot of damage. Not like, and the way I would put it too is like, it's the way you said, he's pretty straightforward, and the way the game is right now, because a big common theme in Strive is that a lot of the legacy stuff like moves just straight up too. Have like are a little slower and like have longer total durations, which just benefits him because he has these really big buttons with relatively low recovery, and the return's pretty high if he hits you. So like some characters just naturally have a problem with it. The characters who don't have problems with him really are just characters that are just hyper mobile, like Milia and Chip, or people who have like a lot of relatively easy to apply disjoints to fight him with, because he does have like just massive normals in this game. And he is surprisingly mobile too. So like most people are like, oh well, one of the things is he can't move, but he does have like a teleport step and the instantly traveling Beyblade that jumps off the ground, and is 0 on block. So it's not like he can't move. And also his while not difficult to snipe, his forward and back super jumps travel the farthest out of anyone in the game to my knowledge. So it's not like I wouldn't say he's lacking in mobility compared to characters, other characters like Potemkin or like Gold Lewis or something like that. Like he can get around the screen, maybe not like the same way other characters can, but he can definitely do that, and he controls big swaths of the screen too. My thing is just when people went really quickly, and goes to like the beginning of what you said. People went really quickly from going to he is not worth it to he is broken. And as I like to say, it's because of the Nagoriyuki players. It's like shout outs to you guys. Good job. Honestly. Like good job. You love to see it. Honestly, you do love to see it. Like people really were out here saying he's the worst character when the game came out, and now they're like, he's broken, dude. Like, I'm not gonna drop names. Let's say if you played Pokemon, it's not Blue, it's the other trainer, right? I've heard him say, and I quote, "Soul cannot beat Nagoriyuki." Okay, I didn't say the dude's name though. Shout out to my boy. I didn't say the dude's name. Just if you know Pokemon, it's not the Blue trainer, it's the other one. Okay, you may have heard of him. Play Soul. Okay, he says can't beat Nagoriyuki Soul, not possible. Right? Way different tune than what people were saying in June when the game came out about how bad he is. So, as usual, the truth is just in the middle. He's just a really good character, really solid character, fits with the theme in the game, has very traditional Guilty Gear style pressure. If you guys don't know, a really common theme in Guilty Gear offense is that the opponent is doing things to you very quickly with a mix of advantage and slight disadvantages, and it's on the defender to do stuff, a combination of FD, challenge, jump, to try to get out. Generally, when you pick wrong, you explode, and Nago does just that. If you don't believe me, watch his teacher, Slayer from the last games. That's what I got. That's what I got for this one.
I'm happy you actually brought up Soul, actually. That's a very important matchup, and not, even from this unnamed player's opinion. I've actually heard that opinion from a lot of Soul players. Not as extreme, but that he can hang. Like, he can hang with Soul, and that alone is so valuable. Like, I think Bombabon made a matchup list, and it's like Soul beats everyone, but goes even with Nago, and bro, you're going even with Soul? Like, I don't know. It's kind of good. Like, it must be for some reason. Maybe it's because his normals are good. But there's his competed damage. Like, there's a lot of good things he has going for him, and being able to fight the best character in the game right now is very valuable. But yeah, I think the big thing with Nago, and I think I mentioned it earlier, was because of his weaknesses of the movement and it being tied to the resource, his special moves being tied to the resource, people are so quick to overvalue the weaknesses over the strengths. And I see that not even just with Nagoriyuki, I see that with tons of characters in this game, right? They'll be like, yeah, that really good thing that this character can do, yeah, it's great, but that bad thing, real bad. It's really straightforward. Oh yeah, you can do this, but he's a 6-framer. Oh, you can't do anything, right? It's weird, especially coming from a game like Dragon Ball, where all the characters are much more homogenous. And when a character is kind of lacking somewhere, it's very clear. Because a lot of the win conditions in that game are pretty similar. It's very clear when a character is weak in some ways. In Guilty Gear, it's not like that. It's not as straightforward. When a character has some major weaknesses, it's probably because they have some other major strengths, and that's just that's a huge trend with a lot of characters. Another character I hear or that talked about with is Zato. He has a lot of crazy stuff, right? But he doesn't have the best he doesn't have the best defense, right? But that's how he's always been, right? He doesn't have. He only has the 6-frame jab or whatever, and you just have to look at you have to just value their strengths. You have to really, really look at their strengths and value them appropriately. As the biggest thing I've learned with Nagoriyuki kind of just being downplayed at the beginning, and now everyone's like, oh yeah, he's super good.
I mean, another character we could use as example is your character, Faust.
Well, okay, all right, no.
Wait, because your homie just got some buffs. Congrats, right? But for example, I've definitely seen a couple Faust players be cool, but it's not enough. He still needs this, and better items and stuff. And I'm like, you guys gotta remember that half the reason why his items are nerfed is because there's no throw limit now. So once he throws items or meteors, you know what I'm saying? So characters need strengths and weaknesses. Like if the character has like some stuff that's really good, and then some stuff you're like, man, like it's kind of pain that they're not good at this, probably because they've got some stuff that's really good. You know what I'm saying? I can use my own character as example too, Amelia, because
Thought you were gonna do
routinely, yeah, I know that's I hit you. I'm a Amelia player, bro. I 50-50 all day, right? So
Yeah.
like routinely, when I've talked about the character being strong, people, especially people who are newer to the series, this is kind of a sign that you're newer to the series. They're like, well, okay, you know, she has no life, she has no DP, 6 frames, you know, doesn't build meter, like doesn't do any damage. You're saying she has all these weaknesses, and you still say she's that good. And I'm like, yes, because the same thing happens every time. She can fly, other characters can't. I get to just stand there and look at you. You can't do anything. You whip a button, then I just get to do my thing. You barely get to, I shouldn't say you don't, but you barely get to interact. I run it, then boom. So she needs those weaknesses because she is so strong in her strong spots. You know what I mean? And by this point, whatever you think about Strive and in general, like Arxis knows these characters. Like they've made these characters for a long time. I'm way more shook about characters like Gold Lewis and like New Jacko. They're like them bouncing Soul or May. They know what to do with the classic characters. They know exactly what to do.
So I hope you guys liked that video. If you guys have any comments on Nagoriyuki yourself, maybe you can talk about it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.